Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Have you ever noticed that some of the most peaceful moments in life happen when you're alone at home? Maybe it's that quiet early morning when you're sipping tea by the window, watching sunlight dance across the living room floor. Or perhaps it's a gentle afternoon nap, the hum of distant traffic outside, the slow ticking of a clock, the world's noise muted by the comfort of your favorite chair. For many, these are golden moments of rest, independence, and reflection, reminders that solitude isn't something to be feared, but cherished. But what if, hidden within these calm, uneventful hours, there's a risk quietly waiting? Not the risk of slips or falls that we so often hear about, but something invisible, silent, and just as dangerous: pulmonary embolism, or PEI. Pulmonary embolism is a medical emergency that, for many, comes without warning. Unlike a fall or a cut that you can see and feel, PEI often lurks in the background, developing slowly during those long stretches of inactivity or rest, sometimes the very same restful hours we treasure most. The question then becomes, how can we truly feel safe at home, especially when we're alone? How do we protect ourselves from dangers we can't see, hear, or touch? Let's take a step back. Picture a day in the life of someone over 60. After a lifetime of working, raising families, and bustling activity, the golden years are meant for relaxation, hobbies, and quiet pleasures. Maybe you live alone by choice, relishing your independence. Or maybe circumstances have led to more solo hours than you expected. Either way, you've created a safe haven, a space that's all your own. But as the world outside seems to speed up, life inside can slow down. Days become more routine, movement less frequent, and it's easy to lose track of just how long you've been sitting, reading, watching TV, or simply enjoying the peace. Here's where the hidden danger of pulmonary embolism begins. You might think, I feel fine. I'm just relaxing, what's the harm? And it's true, most of the time, rest is healthy. But when our bodies are still for too long, especially as we age, certain changes can occur within us, changes we might not notice until it's too late. The muscles in our legs, for example, act like little pumps, helping move blood back toward the heart. When those muscles aren't used, blood can begin to slow, to pool, to become stagnant. Over time, this creates the perfect environment for a clot to form, and if that clot travels to the lungs, it becomes a pulmonary embolism. The tricky part is, pulmonary embolism doesn't announce itself with loud symptoms. There's no warning bell, no flashing lights, no sudden pain that screams, "Go to the hospital now." Instead, its signals are subtle. Maybe a bit of unexplained shortness of breath, a sudden cough, mild chest discomfort, or swelling in a leg that you chalk up to aging or sitting a little too long. Alone at home, these signs are easy to dismiss. I'll rest a bit and it'll pass, you might tell yourself. But what if it doesn't? That's why home monitoring and self-awareness are so important, especially for those who live alone. It's not about becoming anxious or living in fear. It's about being empowered, prepared, and proactive. Just like we install smoke detectors for fires and keep emergency numbers by the phone, there are ways we can guard against pulmonary embolism even when nobody else is around. Let's be honest. Most advice about PEI risk sounds the same. Move more, drink water, wear comfortable clothes, and see your doctor. But real life isn't always that simple. What about the days when fatigue keeps you on the couch? Or those rainy afternoons when you'd rather read than take another lap around the living room? The reality is, life at home alone comes with its own set of rhythms and routines, and sometimes with hidden risks. So imagine having tools and habits that fit seamlessly into your solo routine, quietly working in the background to keep you safe. Imagine technology: a smartwatch, a home sensor, a gentle reminder from your phone alerting you when you've been still too long, encouraging you to stretch, breathe deeply, or take a few steps. Or maybe a daily check-in, a journal, or a health tracking app that helps you notice subtle changes in your body before they become emergencies. But technology is only part of the story. The real power lies in changing the way we think about our alone time. Instead of viewing solitude as isolation, what if we saw it as an opportunity, a time to check in with ourselves, to listen to our bodies, to practice small rituals of health and care that keep us vibrant, alert, and connected? It's about turning the home into a place not just of comfort, but of safety and well-being, even when there's nobody else around. Perhaps you're wondering, am I really at risk? The truth is, anyone can develop pulmonary embolism, but the risk grows as we age, and especially when we spend more time sitting or lying down. Whether you're an avid gardener who spends afternoons in a sunlit room, or someone who enjoys puzzles and TV marathons, it's worth learning the subtle signs of trouble and the simple steps you can take to prevent them. In this video, we'll journey together through the latest insights on pulmonary embolism risk for those living alone. We'll explore practical, everyday strategies to monitor your health at home. From smart tech and easy self-checks to building supportive routines that fit your life, not the other way around. Along the way, we'll hear stories from seniors who faced pay risk head-on and discover how staying safe at home can be a source of strength, not stress. So, settle in, pour yourself a cup of tea, and get ready to discover not just how to protect yourself from hidden risks, but how to make your home, your body, and your alone time safer, stronger, and even more enjoyable. Are you ready? Let's begin. As we move forward, let's pause for a moment and really think about what's at stake here. Living alone can be a blessing: privacy, independence, the freedom to do what you want, when you want. But it's also true that for many older adults, living alone can come with unique risks that often go unnoticed until something goes wrong. And when it comes to pulmonary embolism, the consequences of not recognizing a problem early can be serious sometimes, tragically so. Now, why does this matter so much, especially for people over 60, or for those who spend a lot of time alone at home? The answer is simple but profound. Time is of the essence. With pulmonary embolism, every minute counts. The earlier you recognize the warning signs, the better your chances are for a full recovery. But when you're alone, it's all too easy to miss those first subtle clues. Let's imagine a scenario that might feel familiar. Picture yourself settling into your favorite chair on a chilly afternoon. Maybe you're lost in a good book, or perhaps you've dozed off during your favorite TV show. Hours pass by. You stand up, feeling a bit stiff. There's a mild ache in your leg, a little swelling, maybe some warmth, or a tightness you haven't noticed before. You shrugged it off, thinking it's just old age. Maybe I sat too long. But what if that small ache is actually a sign of something much more dangerous, a clot forming in your leg that, if left unchecked, could travel to your lungs? When you're alone, there's no one there to notice a sudden change, to ask if you're feeling all right, or to encourage you to get checked out. Sometimes, the silence of living alone can drown out the body's own warning bells, and the numbers don't lie. Research shows that seniors who live alone are statistically less likely to seek immediate help when new health symptoms appear. It's not because they don't care, it's because there's no one around to push them, to remind them, or simply to witness the little changes that can mean so much. A cough, a faint twinge of chest pain, a bout of unexpected breathlessness, all can be brushed aside as nothing important, when in reality, they could signal a medical emergency. Beyond the physical, there's also the emotional side. For many, the fear of bothering family, neighbors, or emergency services holds them back. They might worry about being a burden or causing unnecessary fuss. This reluctance can lead to dangerous delays, And in the case of pulmonary embolism, even a short delay can make all the difference. Let's not forget, too, that the effects of a pulmonary embolism can last far beyond the initial event. For those who survive, there may be a long road of recovery ahead: hospital stays, medications, physical therapy, and follow-up appointments. If not recognized quickly, a PEI can lead to serious complications like lung damage, heart strain, or even lasting disability. These aren't just medical terms, they're real changes to your daily life, your independence, your ability to enjoy your golden years. But here's the good news. Awareness and a few simple habits can tilt the odds in your favor. The stakes may be high, but they're not out of your control. Knowledge truly is power. When you understand what's at risk and what signs to look out for, you become your own best advocate. And with today's advances in home monitoring technology, support is closer than ever, even if you live alone. Let's explore what that really means. Imagine, for a moment, the difference it could make if you had gentle, reliable reminders to check in with your body. Maybe it's a fitness tracker on your wrist, a smart speaker in the living room, or a friendly phone app that nudges you every hour to move, hydrate, or just take a breath and scan how you're feeling. It could even be a notebook on your kitchen table where you jot down your daily activities and any changes you notice. These tools aren't about replacing human contact, they're about empowering you to notice, respond, and act on your own. Think about the ripple effect. When you stay healthy, independent, and proactive, you inspire those around you, friends, children, even grandchildren. You model the kind of self-care and resilience that every generation needs. And when you build a home environment that quietly supports your health, you're not just protecting yourself from pulmonary embolism. You're making every day safer, more secure, and more joyful. The stakes, then, aren't just about medical statistics or scary stories. They're about your ability to enjoy the life you've built, to remain in your own home, to continue pursuing the activities and connections that make life rich and meaningful. It's about peace of mind for yourself and for the people who love you. As we continue, remember, you're not powerless in the face of pulmonary embolism. Far from it. By staying informed, adopting simple routines, and embracing new technology, you can dramatically reduce your risk without giving up the comfort and freedom of living alone. So, as we look ahead to the next segment, let's shift from worry to action. What practical steps can you take right now, at home, to protect yourself? How can you use what's already around you, plus a little modern tech, to make sure you catch the warning signs early and keep your independence strong? The answers might surprise you, and they might just save your life. Are you ready to discover how small changes can have a big impact? Let's move forward, because your health, your safety, and your happiness are always worth it. Now, let's take a deep breath together. Up to this point, we've touched on the risks, the real-life stakes, and that quiet tension many of us feel when thinking about health challenges, especially when living alone. But here's where the story turns. You are not powerless. In fact, you are at the very center of your own well-being, and that's a place of strength, not fear. Let's pause and look at the situation with a fresh perspective. Instead of seeing pulmonary embolism as a lurking shadow, let's view it as a challenge that we can prepare for and, in many cases, prevent. Think of your home not just as a place to rest, but as your personal wellness center. One that, with a few changes, can quietly work in your favor. Day after day, for example, you might be surprised at just how much difference a little movement can make. Many seniors have shared stories about how simply setting a timer to get up and stretch every hour has transformed their energy and outlook. Maybe you're a fan of gardening, or you love to dance a little when your favorite old song comes on the radio. Every bit counts, even when the weather keeps you inside. Gentle stretches or walking laps in the hallway make a real difference in keeping your circulation strong. And don't overlook the power of routine. Some older adults find comfort in writing a brief body check note each morning, just jotting down how you feel, if there's any swelling, pain, or new sensations. Others place their water bottle within easy reach, making hydration a habit rather than a chore. These small actions are like seeds planted each day, growing into a foundation of health and resilience. Let's also talk about technology. It's because it isn't just for the younger generation anymore. Today, so many devices are designed with seniors in mind, and you don't need to be a tech expert to use them. There are fitness bands that gently buzz when it's time to move, smartwatches that track your heart rate and oxygen levels, and even voice assistants that can remind you to check in with your body or call someone if you're feeling unwell. Imagine for a moment the peace of mind you'd feel knowing that if you didn't get up as usual, your device could send a friendly reminder or even alert a trusted family member if needed. These aren't just gadgets, they're partners in your health, working quietly in the background, so you can focus on enjoying your day. Stories from across the country show how embracing these small habits and simple technologies can make all the difference. There's Mary from Ohio, who started using a step tracker and found herself walking a little more each week. She says her mornings feel brighter, and she's more aware of her body's signals. Or John in California, who set up a voice assistant to remind him to drink water and move around, saying it's like having a gentle, caring friend by his side. If you prefer the classics, there's nothing wrong with the good old buddy system. A daily phone call with a friend or neighbor just to check in and share how you're feeling. This simple connection can turn an ordinary day into an opportunity to catch small problems early, share a laugh, or encourage each other to stay active and aware. It's important to remember that prevention isn't about fear or paranoia. It's about creating habits and environments that give you the best shot at staying healthy and independent. When you make these choices, you're not just protecting yourself, you're sending a powerful message to your loved ones that you value your health and cherish every moment. So, let's flip the script. Instead of being anxious about the possibility of pulmonary embolism, let's focus on the steps you can take to stay one step ahead. You have the wisdom of your years, the tools of today's world, and the support of people who care, sometimes near, sometimes far, but always there in spirit. As we move to the next segment, let's take this sense of empowerment and turn it into practical strategies. What are the best ways to set up your home for safety? Which routines are easiest to start and stick with? How can you make wellness as natural and automatic as locking your door at night or turning off the lights before bed? If you've come this far, let's keep going. Your journey to safer, healthier living continues with small, steady steps. Stay with me, because the most helpful advice is just ahead. Now that we've unlocked the doors to understanding and empowerment, let's dive into the heart of today's message: transforming your everyday space into a stronghold of health, safety, and confidence. This is the turning point, where information becomes action, where small changes create ripples that last a lifetime. Picture yourself at home. Whether it's the cozy living room where you love to read, the kitchen that fills with delicious smells, or a sunlit corner just right for your favorite chair, each space can become part of your personal wellness routine. It doesn't require a total makeover, just a few thoughtful adjustments that can make all the difference. Start with the basics: visibility and access. Place your water bottle somewhere. You see it often, maybe on the coffee table, next to the TV remote, or by your bed. Visual cues are powerful reminders to take a sip, which is essential for keeping your body hydrated and your circulation smooth. Maybe you enjoy tea or warm lemon water in the morning. Whatever your favorite, make it easy to reach. Let's not forget about movement. Arrange your space so you have a clear path for gentle walking or stretching, even if it's just 5 minutes every hour. For some, this could be pacing the hallway or circling the dining table. For others, it might be standing up during commercials or practicing a few seated leg lifts. If you use a walker or cane, Make sure it's always nearby and ready to help. You stay steady. Technology, as we mentioned, can be a friendly nudge. Set alarms on your phone, use a kitchen timer, or program a smart device to remind you to move and drink water. Some seniors set up a daily checklist, ticking off each glass of water, each stretch, each call to a friend. This sense of accomplishment, even in small doses, lifts the spirit and gives structure to the day. But routines go beyond reminders. They're about building confidence and independence. Let's hear from Helen, an 82-year-old from Florida. After a health scare, she worried about being alone, especially when her family lived far away. She started each morning with a simple habit, looking in the mirror and asking herself 3 questions. How do I feel? Am I swollen anywhere? And did I sleep well? This daily ritual kept her alert to subtle changes and gave her the confidence to reach out to her doctor early when something didn't feel right. And then there's Robert in Texas, who made a pact with his neighbor. Every day at noon, they wave to each other from their porches, rain or shine. If one doesn't show up, the other checks in with a quick call. This buddy system is simple, free, and surprisingly effective. It's proof that caring doesn't need to be complicated or high-tech. It just needs to be consistent. For those who love their independence but want extra peace of mind. Home monitoring devices have become more user-friendly than ever. There are wearable sensors that track your activity and sleep patterns, alerting you or a caregiver to changes that might signal a problem. Some devices even check your oxygen levels, a useful tool, since sudden drops can be an early sign of pulmonary embolism. Setting up your environment for safety also means removing small hazards. Keep floors clear of clutter, install nightlights to guide the way in the dark, and consider non-slip mats in the bathroom. All of these steps reduce the risk of falls, making it easier to move around for those all-important activity breaks. Let's also talk about emotional health, because living alone doesn't mean being lonely. Use technology not just for health monitoring, but for connection. Video calls with grandchildren, virtual book clubs, online classes, or even a daily good morning message with friends across town can brighten your day and keep you motivated to care for yourself. If ever you feel overwhelmed by all the advice, remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 habits to start with, maybe adding a glass of water in the afternoon or standing up during every commercial break. As those become second nature, add a few more. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Let's revisit why this matters. Pulmonary embolism can be silent, but it doesn't have to catch you off guard. By staying hydrated, moving regularly, paying attention to your body's subtle changes, and using technology or support systems, you can dramatically reduce your risk without sacrificing your independence or the joys of living on your own. And don't forget, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Let your family, neighbors, or healthcare providers know your routines. Invite them into your circle of care so that together you can celebrate successes and spot early warnings. Imagine for a moment, a year from now, you've made movement and hydration part of your rhythm. You know the signs to watch for, and you have someone to check in with each day. Instead of worrying, you feel confident and prepared, living fully, savoring each sunrise and inspiring others to do the same. This is the real climax, not just surviving, but thriving. You have the power to make your home a sanctuary of health and safety, to create habits that protect you, and to build connections that keep you engaged and joyful. Every step you take, every glass you drink, every check-in call is an act of self-respect and love. So as we prepare to move into the final part of our journey, let's celebrate these small but mighty victories. The next segment will bring everything together, offering encouragement, hope, and a sense of community as you continue your adventure toward health, safety, and lasting peace of mind. You're not just preventing pulmonary embolism, you're creating a life that's vibrant, independent, and truly your own. Stay with me for the resolution, where we'll wrap up with actionable tips and heartfelt reminders to help you make every day a little brighter and a lot safer. As we reach the final chapter of our journey together, let's take a deep breath and reflect not just on what we've learned, but on the power we hold to shape our own well-being, even when living alone. Perhaps you found yourself nodding along, recognizing some habits you already have. Or maybe you're thinking about a loved one who could use a little extra support. Wherever you are on this path, know that every step you take is a step toward greater safety, joy, and independence. Let's begin by celebrating the victories, both big and small. It's easy to overlook the quiet acts of self-care that happen in the course of a normal day. Choosing to drink an extra glass of water, standing up during a commercial break, or simply noticing how your legs feel after a long afternoon of reading. These choices may seem insignificant, but together they add up to a powerful shield, protecting you from the silent dangers of pulmonary embolism. And what's more, they send a message to everyone around you that you value yourself, your health, and your future. But life isn't just about routines and reminders. It's about creating a sense of connection, purpose, and belonging, no matter your age or living situation. Maybe you've been inspired by stories like Helen's or Robert's, or maybe you're ready to write your own. Either way, know that you're not alone. All across the country, millions of seniors are taking similar steps, forming small but mighty circles of care, whether it's waving at a neighbor, joining a phone tree, or sharing a tip with a friend. One of the most important lessons we can learn is that prevention isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. Pulmonary embolism may be silent, but knowledge and preparation give us the upper hand. When you know the warning signs, trust your instincts and reach out early. You're not just protecting your health. You're sending a ripple of reassurance to your loved ones and your community. Let's take a moment to imagine how these habits play out over a week. Maybe on Monday, you set an alarm to remind yourself to get up and stretch while your morning coffee brews. On Tuesday, you invite a friend to join you for a short walk, enjoying the fresh air and gentle movement. By Wednesday, you've made it a routine to check your ankles for swelling before bed. On Thursday, you set up a video call with your grandchildren, sharing laughs and stories that lift your spirits. And by Friday, you're feeling so good, you decide to try a new, healthy recipe, adding an extra glass of water at dinner. Each of these actions might seem small on their own, but together they form a strong net of protection and a source of daily joy. Of course, there will be days when motivation is low, when aches and pains tempt you to stay put. That's okay, self. Compassion is just as important as self-discipline. The key is to keep coming back to your core routines, to gently nudge yourself in the direction of movement and hydration, and to remember that every effort counts. If you have a setback or forget a habit, don't be hard on yourself. Instead, treat it as an opportunity to start fresh the next day. Now, let's talk about reaching out for help. Sometimes, it can feel uncomfortable to ask a neighbor to check in or to tell your doctor about a new ache or swelling. But reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's how communities are built and how lives are saved. If you're feeling uncertain about your symptoms or need advice about setting up a safer home, don't hesitate, there are people who care. From family and friends to healthcare professionals and local support groups. And don't underestimate the value of sharing your experiences. When you tell a friend about your new hydration routine or post a tip on a community bulletin board, you're not just helping yourself, you're lighting the way for others. Every story, every bit of encouragement can make a difference for someone else who might be feeling isolated or uncertain. If you're tech-savvy, you might consider joining an online forum or virtual support group for seniors. There, you can swap tips, share victories, and even troubleshoot challenges together. These communities are growing every day, filled with people just like you, curious, courageous, and committed to living well. As we wrap up, let's revisit some of the most powerful takeaways from our time together. Stay hydrated. Keep your water bottle close and drink often. Move regularly. Even gentle activity counts. Make movement part of your routine. Monitor your health. Know the warning signs and trust your instincts. Set up safety nets. From smart devices to neighborly check-ins, every support matters. Reach out. Whether to a friend, family member, or healthcare provider, don't hesitate to ask for help or advice. Above all, remember that living alone doesn't mean living without support. By embracing these habits, by inviting others into your circle of care, and by believing in your own ability to adapt, you're crafting a life that's rich, resilient, and full of promise. Let this be your gentle reminder. Every day is an opportunity to nurture your body and mind. Every action you take is a gift to yourself and to the people who love you. So, celebrate your independence, honor your progress, and step boldly into each new morning, knowing you have the tools, knowledge, and spirit to thrive. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. Leave a comment with your own tips or experiences, and subscribe for more advice on living well at every age. Until next time, may your days be filled with strength, health, and joyful connection, because you truly deserve nothing less.